There are one of two characteristics that are going to naturally occur when you are practicing semen retention for, I would say, more than just 2 to 4 weeks. And that is going to be the way in which women will treat you. Some women will treat you in the one of two ways. They will do anything and everything for you. It seems like they would be submissive to anything that you command. They will do whatever you'd like. And then there's the women that completely despise and hate you, and they see your purity, they see your sense of who you are and your confidence in yourself, your self-esteem being boosted, your sharpness, your discipline. There's actually light in your eyes now. Whereas with most of these kinds of women that hate you for practicing this practice, they have eyes that are dark and dim, and simply because they don't practice this kind of lifestyle. They don't practice this, and you might experience some form of shame or guilt, or, as Kevin Samuels puts it, rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. He says that the women resort to sign language. It's shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right. And that is a perfect explanation on what exactly happens during this time. But one thing is for sure, and before I go any further, I do want to welcome everybody to another Semen Retention Sunday episode on this channel. And the topic for today that I want to discuss is the way in which you will not ever be put in the friend zone on semen retention. The friend zone does not exist on semen retention. And really the main reason is because this is going to naturally have you in a state of being that you are able to articulate yourself in a way that holds your frame as a man. Well, what exactly does that mean? It means that everybody around you, except for mentors or guides or people like that maybe know more what they're doing, and you have to submit to their will to some degree. Like, for example, if I'm going to build a house or something, and I have a job to build a house, and this guy is showing me how to build the house or plumbing or whatever, and I don't really know what I'm doing, then of course, if this person who knows what they're doing says, oh, put that screw there, or put that 2x4 over here, I'm going to listen, and I'm just going to do what the person is saying, because obviously they have the experience and the knowledge and the expertise in this. So that's going to be what happens, right? And so one thing that you'll notice is that when you hold your frame as a man, the people that are around you are entering your world. You're not entering their world anymore. They're entering your world. That's what it means to hold frame. As soon as you start to say, oh, you have this mindset of, oh, what can I be doing to get the attention of those persons or those people or that girl? As soon as you have that mentality, you have completely already lost frame. You're already trying to enter their world because you're trying to get their attention. You're not trying to see how they're trying to get your attention. Because if you have the mindset and the mind frame that they're the ones trying to get your attention, that they're the ones that are going to have to qualify to you as a man, then there's no way that you can possibly be put in the friend zone. And so really the friend zone is a place that you put yourself in. And I know this because I did it multiple times in my beta male stage. And my beta male stage years ago, I would be intentionally not making a move on a woman, even though she seemed like she wanted me to, but I wasn't necessarily sure. I wasn't necessarily certain. And instead of taking that risk and having the possibility of rejection, I just, oh yeah, we can be cool. We can be friends, That's a terrible, terrible way to go. Don't ever do that, because it never ends well. And usually anytime you say, oh yeah, I'll just be friends with you as a man, what you're really saying is, when there's an opportunity for me to swoop in and do what I want to do, I'm going to take it. But until then, yeah, I'm going to enjoy the attention and such. And I've seen this kind of behavior happen in a variety of different kinds of people. There was one time at the coffee shop, oh, maybe about a year and a half or so ago. I remember it very distinctly because the guy was comforting this girl, and she was really confiding herself in him, and she was really trying to find some sense of understanding of what happened in the relationship. And the guy was just, oh yeah, oh, that's so tough. Oh, I'm sure, hey, you know what? Let's go back to my place. Let's watch a movie. Let's relax. Forget about that guy. It's like, we all know what this dude is doing. But you could tell this guy was a depleted coomer. And so what's going to happen is, on semen retention, you're going to naturally pick up on these sorts of things that you're doing and what you need to be doing better. And if you're having trouble getting past like the 2 to 4 week mark as a man, because I would say the most difficult part of semen retention is just getting through those first few days for most men, because really beyond that, once you get to day 30, it seems like that's where men are either going to go make it a lifestyle, or they're just going to never be able to get past that point. And I don't want to not give hope to anybody that hasn't gotten past that point. I'm just saying that based off of the questions that people ask about how to get through semen retention. And another thing I don't really like about semen retention, I mean, I talk about it a lot, I preach it. I think it's actually the best thing for a man to do for himself, and women to be celibate as well. I mean, celibacy and semen retention are not necessarily the same thing, but I do think that it's the best thing for a man to practice, because it teaches him a form of sexual discipline that is going to have a ripple effect on all of the other things around him for the remainder of his life. And so if he can actually get to this point in a month in, let's say, given all the distractions and the temptations of the modern world, where perversion is everywhere and manifested nearly everywhere you look, hypersexualization is everywhere you look, and we just always have these kinds of ad temptations and whatnot as well. Like even just driving down the street, if there's a bulletin board or whatever in the city, there's likely the case that it's this really attractive woman wearing a sports bra eating a burger for Carl's Jr. or something. I don't know. I remember seeing something like that in the past, but anyway, the natural tendency that you're going to have on semen retention, though, is to hold your frame. You're not even gonna really know how you do this. You might not think anyway. I know for me, it kind of happened more naturally, just the more integrated I was in myself. And I'm approaching 3 years on semen retention, and this has been something that it's completely reformed and reshaped my life to ensure that the probability to orient myself physically, spiritually, emotionally, and financially to a better place is ever increasing. And specifically with women, I can tell pretty easily when a woman is wanting to friend zone me or not. And when a woman is trying to keep me around for, like an orbiter or whatnot. It doesn't happen so much anymore since the last couple years. But I mean, there were even I have a story of when I was about 6 months into retention. It was October, it was right before Halloween of 2022. And there were 3 different kinds of women that week that approached my door with wine bottles, and they were pretty much ready to go. And hey, what are you doing? Oh, I have some wine. Like, are you up to anything? And I didn't really even know these women. It felt like a dream. It really did. It felt like a dream. I thought to myself, is this really happening? Because nothing at that point, up until that point anyway, had ever happened before. But I was working really hard. I had made a decision at that point to really just start grinding and going into business more, in my career path more. And it's funny how as soon as you make certain decisions, here come the temptations, try to lure you back into that old life that you were in. And fortunately, when the woman asked me, hey, what you doing? What are you doing? And I said, I'm working. And she said, oh, well, do you have a little bit of time? Nope. Close the door. Like, I hope you have a good night. Close the door. And that was that. But, those kinds of experiences gave me an understanding of what I'm actually capable of. Here there was this woman, this attractive woman holding a wine bottle ready for me to go, because at that point I really wasn't drinking, and I had given up smoking marijuana 3 months prior to that, and I was just really starting to crystallize myself into this new mode of being that I was operating in. And so it was a very I would say it was a time of poise and a time of discipline and focus that I had not yet even knew could exist inside myself. And so when these temptations came up, it was fairly easy for me to not even see the friend zone and to not even place myself in the friend zone. Like, I'm not even going to hang out with you. I know you want me, but I'm not even going to hang out with you and entertain this possibility. And this is what seems to happen. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, there's two types of women that you'll experience on semen retention. The ones that will really be vibing with you, they'll love you, they'll seemingly do whatever you ask them to do or want them to do. And then you have the other kinds of women that will deceive you, all because she wants to destroy and control you. This is the Jezebel spirit that we talked about in the past, right? This is the Jezebel spirit. You can think about it as a narcissistic type of personality that is hyper aware of their sexual influence and wants to penetrate your mind through sexual influence. She wants to control you through sexual aversion and diversion. And if you can be diverted from that diversion, if you can cement yourself and be delivered from God from those things, that's going to piss them off even more. And they're going to even try harder sometimes, or they're going to just completely let go. But one thing is for sure, the friend zone, it's not a thing. Absolutely not a thing on semen retention. And again, you have to get to a certain level of cognitive function and discipline to understand what that means exactly. Because a lot of men, again, will place themselves in the friend zone. They'll put themselves in a position to where they're catering to a woman that they don't even have anything to deal with intimately. And I highly do not recommend that. I don't think men and women ought to be friends. I don't necessarily think they can be friends either. We can work professionally together, sure, but there's still going to be that tension underlying of masculine and feminine energy. And we are better together, right? Because God made us to be together, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we need to be together all the time or compete with one another. And any kind of woman that's trying to compete with you is obviously, that's a no-go. Don't even try to acknowledge that woman, because she just wants to be you. Like those kinds of women that want to copy you and your mannerisms, not because she's infatuated with who you are as a man, but because she wants to take your masculine essence, that's, draw a line there. And you're only going to be able to discern that through the spirit of truth, so, which is the Holy Spirit. So if you don't have the understanding and the ability to discern what's what and who's who, that's going to be on you, man. That's going to be something that you'll have to deal with on your own. But anyways, guys, I do hope that this video was useful and insightful for you. I do appreciate everybody moving from the YouTube platform over to X, Rumble, Instagram, and TikTok and all of those other platforms recently, specifically with X, because the more I study X, the more I realize that that is the platform. That is the place to be, and it will be the place to be in the upcoming future. It's already like a futuristic platform, which is really cool, but I'll have to go into that on another video as far as the topic is concerned. But I do appreciate everybody tuning in and listening as well. Shout out to all the members and the subscribers and the followers. Peace be with you all. Until next time.